Welcome to Impact Yobe, a special spotlight on progress, transformation, and the resilient spirit of a people destined for greatness in Yobe State. I am Mark Otabo. In today's exclusive edition, we are honored to feature His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Yobe State, Honorable Dr. Buni, a leader whose vision and dedication continue to reshape the landscape of the pride of the Sahel. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Impact Yobe. Hello and welcome to the interview segment on Impact Yobe. Today is quite an exclusive, as I'll be speaking with a leader who assumed office at a time Yobe State was at a crossroad of crisis and recovery in the shadow of insurgency. Right here is His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Yobe State, Honorable Dr. Buni. Your Excellency, it's good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for
having me.
granting us this access.
Thank you.
It's good to see you. Let's delve straight into the conversation. Your Excellency, it's been years of remarkable journey as the Governor of Yobe State. How would you describe your journey so far?
Well, so far so good. Glory be to God Almighty. Like you said, when we came on board, and of course we met a lot of challenges. But, you know, we carefully tagged our administration as that of continuity, consolidation, and innovation. That has given us the wider view of what we want to achieve and how we intend to run the state. And it is quite fulfilling, honestly speaking. And of course, the challenges were enormous and still work in progress, because when you look at the level of the devastation by the protracted Boko Haram insurgency, and as a point, of course, you know what it used to be, and even this government house was at a point under the Boko Haram, because they took over the government house at a point. But glory be to God, like I said, we are here doing our best, picking our pieces.
Let's look at the fact that you have actually equally said that things were not as, pleasant when you came in, but so far things are taking flight and progress has been made. Now, how fulfilled are you, Your Excellency, about the delivery of your campaign promises to the people of Yobe State?
I'm good with this question because when we came on board, one of the areas that we focus on is the area of education. And education was a major target of even the insurgents, because the Boko Haram itself, the meaning of the Boko and Haram, Boko meaning Western education and Haram is forbidden. So they targeted education first, because after the killing of the security agencies, their main target was to ensure that they bring down the Western education, or education in generally, to its needs. And that's what they succeeded in doing. So for that, what we did was to declare a state of emergency on basic and secondary education, because these are the foundational education. So without that, you can't have the product to now feed the tertiary institutions. So we deliberately declared state of emergency, after which we now convene the summit. After the summit, we received a recommendation from the technical committee that was set up as following to the summit's recommendation. And these are the recommendations that we're actually implementing. Not even renovation of schools, construction of schools, but even the intellectual contents of the school, like the teachers. So many teachers were killed, just like so many students were also killed. So we have to train teachers, we have to employ more teachers to actually make sure that we have enough teachers that can teach at both the primary and the secondary schools. We employed over 5,000 teachers as I'm talking to you, and we have trained so many teachers. And those who cannot teach, we have to deploy them to other areas that they can also be of use. So with that, and of course the health sector, we said, okay, we have to provide one functional primary health care in each of the 178 electoral wards. And as I'm talking to you, we have provided 142. We are working on the remaining ones. And by the grace of God, before the end of our tenure, we are sure that we will finish with the rest. And of course, when you look at the area of roads, we have constructed a lot of roads. I'm sure you are here, you will see it for yourself, and you must have gone around to see it for yourselves, and you have interacted with various ministries to see for yourself, to hear them out, and to visit and see it for yourself. And especially in the areas of rural electrification, agriculture, markets. These are things that actually is making me feeling that fulfillment, because at a point I even ask if there is any particular word that we promise to do something that we have not done, please, they should come out to come and complain. And as I'm talking to, even before the 2023 election, none. You know, the precarious security situation and, of course, some of these challenges that are multifaceted, and we have to approach them. The approach is also multisectoral, and, of course, all sectors are receiving attention as I'm talking to you. So we have a formidable team, and, of course, governance is all about teamwork. We have a formidable team, and we are all working together as a team to deliver to Yobians what we promise to deliver. And like I said, it's a work in progress.
All right, Your Excellency. The declaring state of emergency on education was quite a masterstroke, but now you have actually outlined the fact that a lot of workforce has been employed into that sector to ensure credibility and efficiency. Now, the question I have right now is, what structures have you put in place to ensure that this workforce is sustained through time, so that they actually work at the highest minimum premium of their talent and deliver, the services required in the educational circle?
Yeah, well, this is what we are actually doing. Development is about continuous improvement. There is nothing like static perfection. So the training and retraining of even the civil service, starting from the level of the principals, up to directors and, of course, the permanent secretaries and what have you. We have to have a common vision, and we have to work on a platform that we all agree that, yes, this is where we are lagging behind, and this is how we should all work to ensure that we cover the ground. So this is what we're actually doing. And when you look at it, we have a commissioner of the basic and secondary education who is himself an educationist, and also the commissioner of higher education who is also an educationist. So they are all doing their best to ensure that we strengthen the educational sector. After the declaration, like I mentioned, part of the recommendations we are working on was first to set up an education trust fund, which we did, and there we launched that trust fund, and some money was raised, and still we had some trustees who are trusted with the funds, and they are also complementing the effort of the government. And in that direction, we are also working to ensure that most of the schools that were destroyed were rebuilt, new ones. Especially, we built up to 16 mega schools across the state, because Yobe, as it is, the difference of Yobe and so many other states is when you look at Damaturu as state capital, there are cities that are more populated than Damaturu. And of course, you have to evenly distribute, and of course, to carry along, and of course, they should all be part of the approach. It is not like to centralize everything around the state capital. That cannot work for us, especially when you look at the population of Potiskum, when you look at the population of Guru, when you look at the population of Gashua, when you look at the population of Gaidam, and of course Buniadi and other major towns. So we have to ensure that we are working simultaneously, because to ensure that no local government is left behind in ensuring that education is there and the enrollment is improving, especially as the government is not in any way leaving any part of its responsibility, especially when it comes to feeding. School feeding is one of the areas that the government is spending a lot, especially payment of WAEC and NECO. As I am talking to you, we are not indebted to any examination board. As I said, we are paying. And of course, it is, we also deliberately ensure that we sponsor some of our students outside the country, some to other universities, some to our state university. And I'm happy that almost 90% of the students of the Yobe State University are from Yobe State. And it's one of the universities that charges least when it comes in terms of registration fees. The government is augmenting, so you can now see we are all doing all these things deliberately to ensure that education is affordable to all Yobeans. And of course, we have all the accreditations that we are able to secure cannot just come like that. It has to come with a lot of effort being put in place, especially in the institutions like even the National Midwife that we have here, College of Health and Tech, and of course the College of Education. All these higher institutions, we have accreditation that is actually driving the educational process and ensuring that our citizens are benefiting from what we are doing.
All right, Your Excellency, let's look at security now. Now, the military has succeeded in capturing Boko Haram commanders. What do you think can be done to sustain this and ensure a sort of end to insurgency?
Glory be to God. And for those of us who are on the ground during all those years of insurgency, at the peak period of the insurgency, compared to today, we have to give glory to God and to work towards sustaining and deepening the peace, the relative peace we are enjoying today. And that has come with a lot of price, and especially the security agencies have paid supreme, some have paid supreme price, some have become permanently incapacitated and things like that. Security is in invisibility. It's not about coming out to say this is what we are doing, this is what we are doing to maintain or sustain or provide security. It is in invisibility, like I said. Some of the issues is what in the diplomatic parlance they will refer to as back channel engagements. And these are things that we are doing through the native intelligence and the traditional institutions who are also part of the society. They are the leaders of the society, and they are there to also complement the effort of government in ensuring that peace reigns. So with this collaboration between the security agencies and then the civil populace, and of course with the support of the traditional institutions and even clerics, so we are sure and we are seeing the result of what we are doing, because you can't deepen security or you can't improve on what we have and deepen it and sustain it without actually bringing everybody together, bringing everybody on board to ensure that peace is everybody's business. Because we have seen it. You don't even need to say it, because everybody knows and appreciates, yes, without peace, no meaningful achievement could be met. So with that, everybody knows and everybody is sitting up to ensure that we don't tolerate any sort of crisis that may likely snowball into another round of bigger crisis. So these are some of the things. You only have to nip it in the bud. Whatever that you see, especially even in the areas of the herders and the farmers, which used to occur from time to time in different areas, These are some of the things we are doing. Like I said, the back channel engagement, which is also working, the native intelligence, which we are sharing with the mainstream intelligence to actually complement the effort of the security agencies. Because today, if there is any movement, especially here in Yobe, that we don't have any camp of the Boko Haram or any insurgents. So for them to move from any part of the country to come to Yobe, before they come and settle, the locals will pass the information. And before you know it, with that information, the security agencies loaded with that information, they will swiftly swing to action and then neutralize them without even allowing them to settle down to create more havoc. So these are some of the things that, you don't come out to say these are the strategies. Like I said, security actually is in invisibility. So we are doing it invisibly and we are succeeding, so we are sure with what we are doing, our people are enjoying relative peace. Part of the reason why today, everywhere you go in Yobe State, every part of all the 17 local governments, 1, they are motorable, 2, they are peaceful, 3, operational. Because all the local governments are operational. If the local governments are not operational, you cannot even dream of some of these developmental activities that are taking place, especially some of the projects that we are citing from here and there, cannot be possible if we now say, oh, some of the local governments are no-go area. So as it is, like I said, I'm happy that you are in Yobe, you can see for yourself.
All right, Your Excellency, Yobe is an agrarian state. It's on record right now that Yobe State is the largest producer of livestock, and agriculture has taken, a certain level of improvement. Can you tell Nigerians how you were able to pull this off in spite of the challenges faced by the state in the agricultural sector?
Yes, so the shortest, like you said, the shortest way to economy recovery to me is agriculture, because it's the mainstay of our people's economy here, even before the Boko Haram. So for them to be back on their feet, we have to actually support them, encourage them to make it possible for them to go back to farm. And this is what we are now doing, because we now said, okay, instead of government to now go into the farming as a government to say we now have so hectares of land and we are working on it as a government, we now said, okay, let us empower the peasant farmers with what we can. We deliberately selected 30 farmers from each of the 178 wards, and we empowered them with agri implements from even seeds, then up to power tillers, then planters. Then, of course, we have the threshers and what have you, the agricultural value chain. Of course, we know we give a complete package with fertilizer to each of the 30 people that we selected. And we have seen the results of what happened, the successes recorded last year actually encouraged us into repeating it this year. So this year we have to increase more. So we intend to do this up to next year maybe. So when we are able to get some numbers of farmers in each of the wards, farm implements are things that goes round. When you give power tiller to one farmer, after finishing his farm, he will pass on to somebody else. It is not something he will take back to the room and lock it up. It's something that goes round and works for the people. So, like you said, we empowered women also. Women 10 per ward. We empowered them with goat rearing, because we know how productive it's going to be, and of course how it will go a long way in supporting the family. So that also is part of what we are doing, and in line with our empowerment programs.
All right, Your Excellency, concerning flooding, what measures are in place to ensure that flood disaster is mitigated to the barest minimum in the state so that people will not be taken by surprise?
Yeah, we are working hand in hand with our Ministry of Environment is actually working very hard in conjunction with other agencies like the State Emergency Management Agency. We have a river that we call River Yobe that which of course comes through Adeja and then up to, then it will discharge toward the Lake Chad. You know, desilting the river too is one of the strategies for communities around the river area. So these are things that we did, and of course some of the places, some of the local governments that we have such advisory also. We have put some strategies, especially the government has evacuation of drainages in major cities and things like that. But of course, even developed countries, when you look at developed countries like America and others, are experiencing more severe flooding than us. You can't predict the volume of rain or the devastation or whatever. But as a government, we are doing our best in ensuring that, like Damaturu now, the main drainage is under construction, especially ensuring the drainage that is serving as the major tributary that is discharging the water from the city to discharge it outside to another area that we are working on, a dam that will serve as to serve the dry season farmers for irrigation and things like that. So these are things that we are working on in all the areas that we know are vulnerable to this kind of situation. But actually, flooding, like I said, though it is sometimes normal, when you have a government, everything will be blamed on the government, or people will expect a lot from the government. But this, we are sensitizing the people to also look around so that if there is anything government can do to actually mitigate, we are also doing that. And also, we have a lot of things in stock in the event of any eventuality that we don't want our people to suffer beyond what we can do. So that's why we are putting the necessary measures in place in case of eventuality. But otherwise, the sensitization too is also working because our people are being sensitized following to the NIMED's advisory that we receive and our own local idea of the whole situation and things like that. So as it is, we are okay.
Your Excellency, I must say that in your cabinet, quite a number of young professionals in your cabinet were quite brilliant doing their jobs. And talking about the working population now, I just want to know what Nigerians would think with the working population in Yobe State, the young people. What programs would you say have actually sustained, their credibility in the state to ensure development continues, even in the future?
Yeah, well, life itself is a transition. When you have, just like death, people are growing older. Some are dying, some are growing older. So, of course, you need to have young people around. And they cannot just come overnight to learn. You have to take them through, you have to mentor them through, and they have to learn the system for them to also be in charge. So sometimes I don't know whether it is because of our population that we are over 200 million in Nigeria that we see somebody at the age of 40 still a young boy, or somebody at the age of 35 we are still calling them this small boy. I don't understand. Is it because of our population? I don't know. But, yes, it is good, but somebody who is a lecturer in a university, you can just, simply because of his age, you want to reduce him to certain level to say that he's a small boy. They don't even use the word young man. They will use small boys. Small boys, I don't understand small boys. So that's why we brought a lot of them from the Yobe State University. So most of them are lecturers in the university. And today they are heading some of our agencies. We will look at your field and we will know which agency suits you. And we deploy you there. Because as it is, most of the people that came from Borno after the creation of Yobe State, today most of them have retired. So how do you now bridge the gap? How do you bring new hands into the system? Or do you end up bringing people who are incompetent? Or those who know next to nothing about governance? So it is not possible. They have to come in, they have to learn. It is their state.